Are you proud of me now, Daddy?
Do you love me now, Daddy?
Do you love me now, Daddy? I did it for you. Hey guys and girls, welcome to the latest episode of the Franchise Rundown, the show where we take a second look at some of our favourite movie collections and see if they really are as good as we remember, or in certain cases, even better. We're going to go through sequels, trilogies and mammoth movie marathons and give you our very own rundown. I'm one of your hosts, Charlie, and joining me today is my co-host, Wayne. Wayne, how are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm excited to get into this podcast.
Yeah, me too. We've actually had a break for a while, haven't we? We haven't done this.
It's been a while.
Yeah, getting back into it. But no, we've gone out and got ourselves a load of equipment, got new microphones, new mixer. We've got everything really. So yeah, I'm excited, ready to go. What movie are we doing today?
Today, we are doing Thor, 2011. Do you remember the first viewing of Thor?
I don't actually. I was thinking about this the other day. I don't. I really have no recollection of this. Now that all the movies have come out, I think there's been so much more known about it. But at the time, it didn't register to me as a massive film. What about you? No,
same. I don't remember my first viewing or anything like that, but I remember it being that important that I had to go to cinema and see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I knew who Thor was from cartoons and stuff when I was a kid, but not really much of him. Like, we've seen a lot of Spider-Man, like even Superman, Batman, everyone knows them, but this was his sort of first coming out in my sort of remit.
Yeah, no, I agree. Why don't you give us a brief rundown of the film?
After wanting to wage war against the Frost Giants, the mighty warrior Thor is cast out from Asgard by his father Odin and sent down to Earth. With no way home and his hammer Mjolnir lost, Thor struggles to reclaim his powers.
Nice pronunciation.
Thank you. Meanwhile, on Asgard, Thor's devious brother Loki had seized the throne and seeks to help the Frost Giants regain their glory. With help from scientist Jane Foster and her team, Thor must learn the true virtue of being a hero and returns home to stop Loki and save Asgard from destruction.
Okay guys, if you've never seen the film before, or as it was made in 2011, you haven't seen it for a while like we have, then hit pause now, go watch the film, and then you can come back and you can jump straight into our very own rundown. And we're back. Okay, so for those of you who didn't follow our instructions and haven't watched the film recently or have never seen the film, we're going to give you a quick taster of it. We're going to play the trailer. Here we go.
It's not easy to do what you did. You made my men look like a bunch of minimum wage mall cops. That's hurtful. Would you like to tell me where you received your training? Afghanistan? Chechnya? Who are you?
I have sacrificed much to achieve peace. For through your arrogance and stupidity, you have opened these peaceful realms and innocent lives to the horror and devastation of war.
You are a vain, greedy, cruel boy.
And you are an old man and a fool!
You're unworthy!
Father.
I now take from you your power! And I cast you out!
Please open your eyes.
Oh, no, this is Earth, isn't it?
Where he comes from?
Your ancestors called it magic. And you call it science. I come from a place where they're one and the same.
He has disobeyed his king. His fate is in his own hands now.
I will end this.
Okay. What did you think of the trailer?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was great. Didn't show too much of the whole plot.
No,
but enough action, enough to get you excited.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, why don't we jump straight into our rundown? Opening scene. Where are we?
We see Natalie Portman driving a car. Big storms happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then she ends up running over someone. We don't know who it is yet. Because the name of the movie, we kind of assume who it is.
We know.
We assume correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in New Mexico, where we actually left off from our last film at the end of Iron Man 2, where Coulson goes and we find, it's like the last Easter egg of the film, and we see the hammer. So it's a nice little transition from movie to movie, I think. Obviously, so she's hit and injured someone who we don't know who it is yet. And then we go back to...
We know who it is.
And then we see Odin of old in 965, I think was the year, and he's fighting the Frost Giants.
Oh, it was a while ago.
It's a while ago.
Yeah.
What did you think of Anthony Hopkins as Odin?
He's always creeped me out since The Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, really?
He's a very powerful, he's an amazing actor, but, I can just see him, hello, Clarice, he still creeps me out.
You don't want to see him doing that at the store. I think he looks great in the film.
Looks powerful man.
Yeah, it's a great choice for Odin, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So what is Odin doing in our opening scenes?
Odin, a younger Odin, a two-eyed Odin, is fighting the Frost Giants. It's the war they're having.
So that's when the Frost Giants from Jotunheim are trying to take over Midgard, or Earth, and Odin and the Asgardians are protecting Earth. So they're fighting back the Frost Giants. He manages to defeat him. What's the name of the Ice Giant King?
Laufey,
that's
Laufey.
right.
Strong name.
Defeats Laufey and takes away their main power.
Casket of Ancient Winters.
Ooh,
if you didn't remember that.
So such a pretty name. We fast forward a few thousand years, and we are at the coronation of Thor, who's going to become the new king.
Yeah. Thor, at this point, he's very...
obnoxious.
Yeah, he's very obnoxious. He's very cocksure himself. Not a very likable character yet.
No.
I think it's made to be like, it's made to be done.
No,
like
absolutely.
that.
I think Marvel do that all the time. They put in characters like that. You want to see a little bit of a retribution arc for them to come around full circle.
Bit of growth.
Yeah, exactly. And he's walking around, he's smiling at everyone, you can almost imagine him doing like little finger guns. Pow, pow, pow. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey you. Oh yeah, how you doing? Oh yeah, I'm going to become king. Oh yeah. He's not immediately likable, and he doesn't get to finish the coronation because the Frost Giants have attacked and they're going to try and steal back their power.
They're trying to steal back their power from the trophy room, from Odin's trophy room, the vault.
Did you see all the little Easter eggs in the trophy room?
There's loads of Easter eggs in there. I have to admit, I didn't understand all of them. I had to Google a few of them.
A few of them I did, so that was cool. There was the last one I think they show actually throws the rest of the MCU into a little bit of unsurety because they've got the Infinity Gauntlet there.
A full Infinity Gauntlet as well, with all the lights of each different Infinity Stone on it.
So I think maybe they weren't they maybe didn't have the Infinity War storyline set out at the point because...
Absolutely not.
It makes things a little bit confusing.
I know in a later film, when Hela comes into Thor 3, no spoilers, she pushes it off the table and says it's fake.
Oh yeah.
So that was a little retract, they retract themselves.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, little write-off for themselves there.
That was a good point. What else have we got?
So we've got the Casket of Ancient Winters, where they're trying to steal. The Internal Flame. Again, another one that comes up in Thor Ragnarok.
That's when he's fighting Surtur. The big fiery dude.
Big guy, yeah.
Okay.
Guy.
Oh, he's the one that's supposed to bring on Ragnarok. Okay, I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. What else we got?
We've got the Warlock's Eye. Again, one that I'm not sure...
Something to do with Doctor Strange, I think. Oh, and
No, Doctor Strange was the Orb of Agamotto.
Not a great pronunciation, but we'll keep it.
Can't prove that.
Agamotto.
You pronounce it.
Go on. Agamotto.
Agamotto.
There was something about Spider-Man as well, wasn't there?
Yes, it was the Tablet of Life and Time, where it has a recipe on it to make you immortal.
Oh,
it's
that's
on a
right.
tablet,
I do vaguely remember actually that from Spider-Man cartoon, I'm sure. Something to do with that. They did a lot of intertwining even back then. Do you remember watching those cartoons and obviously, Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, all these kind of characters. And then you'd see someone like Doctor Strange come in. You're like, who the hell's that?
Yeah. He'd pop in
Yeah.
one. Yeah. It's like,
This weird guy with a weird beard and his
stupid yellow gloves.
and his cloak and everything. Yeah. Oh God, the suits that someone used to wear.
Yeah.
Do you remember Hawkeye's suit?
Oh. No.
No.
Remind me.
It's either pink or purple. He had high tipped boots. He had a mask that was like star shaped mask. Everything was pink or purple. It just looked ridiculous. For someone that's supposed to be possibly, covert as he's shooting arrows from far away.
He's a spy.
He's a spy.
Yeah.
He needs to be in black. He doesn't need to be standing out in pink and purple. So I'm glad that they've changed that. But even though the old X-Men comics, seeing Wolverine in his yellow and black, they've come away from that colourful kind of thing. And I think they fit more in the times. Okay, so our next scene, Thor obviously upset that he wasn't, he didn't get to finish the coronation, and then he gets a good telling off from Odin. He's a little bit, what's the right word? He's a little bit
tantrumy.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3-year-old kid throwing himself on the floor, banging his head against the wall.
Throwing his toys out the pram, didn't get what he wants. Mm-hmm. His daddy didn't give him the throne. So what does he decide to do? He goes, let's go to Jotunheim and kill all the ice giants.
Well, before that, he flips a table with a lot of food on. That is a big sin in my eyes. It's such a waste. I don't care about the fruit bowls, but I'm sure there was other tasty treats on there.
Yeah, so off to Jotunheim they go to confront the frost giants, and then we have a big battle there. First time that we see Thor in action. What do you think?
Oh, I love the hammer. Hammer is amazing.
As soon as it starts coming out and it's flying around and he's calling it back, it's just
throwing it through about 85 people at once. It's mental.
It looks so cool.
Yeah.
Something so simple. And you can see how strong he is. He's throwing people left, right and center. Then
one of the Warriors 3 gets stabbed.
Yeah.
They decide to retreat. Thor's still going at it.
A quick point on that. I found when watching it, they felt quite, I don't know, outdated, the idea of the Sith and the Warriors 3. Do you know what I mean? Do you not feel that?
What do you mean?
Lady Sif and the Warriors 3. Just the way they talk, like really, ye olde English. I don't know.
It's Viking era, isn't it? They're matching it to sort of Viking the way they were spoken in them times.
Yeah.
Again, you think, beings that are this far advanced, like, would not use horses, but they still ride around on horses. Like,
6-legged horses, but yeah.
Are they?
They are.
Wow. Let's get my eyes checked. Did not notice
that. Right. So, battle going on. Yeah. One of the Warriors 3 is impaled. They are retreating because these even bigger
dragon demon thing.
Yeah. Things have come out. So they're flying around, killing everyone. And then who comes to save the day?
Odin.
But Odin.
On his 6-legged horse, apparently. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then obviously
can't convince the Laufey to not have a war. So he says it's on, basically. I'm not quoting here, but it's on. And then they head back to Asgard. At this point, Thor and Odin start going at it, start arguing about what's happening.
Again, just more petulance.
Yeah. You're an old man and a fool, and Odin's not having that.
That was so harsh.
Yeah. I'm surprised he only banished him. I would have slapped his bum.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm Odin, I can do it. And really, I was in Silence of the Lambs, I could do it.
Really leaning into the petulance there. Yeah, so he strips Thor of all his powers, makes him mortal, takes Mjolnir off him, and puts a charm on it that now it can only be wielded by someone who is worthy.
And off Thor goes to Earth.
Yep, vanished to Earth.
Have you seen what Asgard looks like? I'd be gutted to come to Earth.
Yeah, that's true.
It's amazing.
It really does.
But saying that, the size of it, where these beings seem to live for thousands of years, why isn't it more full?
I did think about that.
Yeah. Why isn't baby after baby on top of each other? These beings, or is it just the royal family that live for thousands of years and the rest of them are like us? Live to 80?
I don't know. It's a good question.
It's literally a city.
That came up in what was it? In Wonder Woman. The same thing. The
Amazonians.
The Amazonians live forever. They're basically immortal. They can be killed, but otherwise they're immortal.
Yeah.
What do they do? I suppose they're all women.
They're all women. They can't multiply.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, never mind that bit then. And here's the reemergence of everyone's favourite segment of the podcast, how many times our hero should have died. So Thor comes hurtling through the Bifrost, lands at, I don't know, 400,000 miles per hour into the earth.
As mortal.
Yep. Thor, dead, number 1.
Yeah, splat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Obliterated.
Done.
He's been made mortal.
Credits.
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
End of film. Great. And you can put a couple of after credit scenes, that's fine. But no, he doesn't die, obviously, because that would ruin the film. He is then immediately hit by a truck.
Quite a big truck.
At speed. Mm-hmm. Thor dead, number 2.
Number 2.
But no, he doesn't die.
At least a bruise.
Yeah.
Like, 2 scenes later, you see him with his top off. There's not a bruise.
Yeah, nothing on him.
Yeah. Why did they have got? Yeah.
If he can be knocked unconscious by that, then surely he should have had some injuries from it.
A bump, a scratch, something.
If he's been knocked unconscious, he's in hospital, nothing. No. Absolutely nothing happened to him. That's a little bit annoying. It does bring us to the hospital though, where we have that fight scene. Mm-hmm. And that's the point. So it makes you think if he is mortal, the way he just throws these people around. So he's still obviously got immense strength, obviously because he's a giant dude. But
yeah, and he's got years of battle training as well.
Yeah. A bit deep on the poor hospital staff. They're just trying to help him, trying to save his life, and he's just throwing him around.
Unlucky.
Yeah, I suppose.
Unlucky. Get a safer job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jane Foster and her team see what they think is evidence that there was someone in the Bifrost as it came down. Not that they know what the Bifrost is. And they go to reclaim Thor from the hospital. Mm-hmm. But he's already left. And this brings us into Thor dead number 3. Because he's hit by the truck. Again. But this time he's fine. That was just a nice little tap.
That was a little bump.
Yeah.
Little bump.
He's alright.
But it could have hurt something. Leg gone. Yeah.
You know, you've seen people die from smaller injuries, I think. But anyway.
Hit his head off the curb, whatever.
What's the count? So the count's at 3. We'll carry that on.
So they've picked up this essentially crazy bloke from hospital who's screaming in the air, Dad, what have you done?
Hammer,
yeah.
He's a lunatic.
Absolute lunatic. Picks him up from hospital, takes him back to their house. I feel that if he wasn't as good looking and muscly as he was, they wouldn't have done this.
No, it's pretty much Jane Foster leading this charge, and she doesn't really seem to have a good reason. She's like, no, let's help him. Yeah, there's no other reason that, I just want to, he's just a nice guy. Let's help him out.
Good looking people get everything handed to them.
It's so true. I really do.
Yeah. I'm sure he was born with them abs.
So he comes out completely topless, and Jane brings him some clothes, and he sees a name tag on there, and that's another little throwback to the comics. That's his alias, Donald Blake.
Mm-hmm. His Earth alias.
Earth alias, yeah, correct. But I like that. I like little throwbacks. But again, that's one that I didn't notice at the time because I just didn't realise the significance of the films, I guess. But it's nice that they're really thinking about it, putting all these kind of things in.
So, Thor's hammer. Hammer's stuck in the ground. Next scene's where we see just a load of blokes having a good beer, barbecue, everyone having a go at putting the hammer out.
Just a lot of fun. It's kind of like King Arthur, Sword and Stone kind of thing, right?
Yeah. One bloke ties it to his truck and drives away. Truck destroys instantly.
Who is that guy?
It was Stan Lee.
Nice little cameo.
Stan Lee's cameo. Not bad.
My favourite bits of some of these films are the Stan Lee cameos.
Yeah, there wouldn't be a Marvel film without it. Moving forward, we head back to Asgard, and this is the point where Loki confronts Odin about who he is and what he is, and Odin tells him the story of where he came from, that he was taken from the Frost Giants.
So that's a bit that we missed out. In the battle on Jotunheim, when everyone says, oh, don't let them touch you, and one of the giants grabs Loki, and instead of getting damaged, his arm just turns blue to it. So I think that's his first kind of realization that something is up and that he might be something at least to do with the Frost Giants. So that's why he's bringing it to Odin's attention. And again, poor Odin, he's just got 2 little petulant kids.
I know.
You're gods.
Yeah.
So why?
But why is Loki a god? And if he's just born as a Frost Giant, why is he like that? Why has he got these little magic skills? I don't get it.
I think those
are they given to him?
I think those kind of gifts might have come from his mum, because that would be Freya. What? She was a witch, so maybe she is...
Oh, she wasn't a Frost Giant?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. So, maybe his adopted mother.
His adopted mother.
Yeah. It's a little bit unclear.
Very unclear.
Yeah.
I think we'd have to do a bit of research to find that out. But hey, I digress.
Anyone that can fill us in on that, get in touch. Mm-hmm. And as you say, that's when Odin tells him that he took him as a child from the Frost Giants. In the film, they make it look like he's just a completely normal human baby, which the Frost Giants do not look like.
No, he was a bit blue and then he turned human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Again, still unanswered.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
And after the heated argument, it's when Odin falls into his Odin sleep.
It's a bit gratuitous to name it after himself, isn't it? Don't you think?
How long is an Odin sleep? Is it 3 days, 3 years, 3,000 years?
No one can really tell. Imagine. I'm really sorry, boss. I can't be in today. I fell into a Wayne sleep.
But you wouldn't be able to ring it though, would you? Could you be asleep? Could you just fall into it?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. You'd have to ask Alexa to do it every morning and then cancel it for you at work.
That'd be a great idea. I like that. So then Loki obviously becomes the next in line to be king.
The big boss, the Mac Daddy.
I want to make this point as well. So we now know that because Odin knows he's a frost giant, obviously, he never had any intention of Loki becoming king. So do you not think...
Well, he doesn't admit that. Odin doesn't admit that. He says, like, you're my son as well.
Yeah, but he knows.
He does.
I get the feeling that even if Thor couldn't be king, didn't want to be king, died, couldn't make it, I feel like he wouldn't want Loki to be king.
Wouldn't trust him.
So why is he put him through all these thousands of years? Because we know that Thor is about 1,500 years old. Why is he putting through all these years of training? I don't know, it just feels a bit harsh, don't you think?
It's just it's probably better than, it's an awkward conversation telling someone they're adopted. So
is it?
It's probably better. I'd rather give someone like 15. I don't know. I've never done it, but from what I hear.
You don't hear good things.
No.
Okay. All right.
Horrible friends.
So Loki's now king. He's got his quite impressive new hat with the giant swirly horns.
Yeah.
It's a very daunting look, but it is his classical look from Norse mythology. So again, they're good touches that they've put in for how the characters look. They've worked really hard on that, I think, and it does show.
To make them not look too cheesy.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
Though I will say I think that they failed a little bit with Sif and the Warriors 3 because some of their armor and especially their weapons, they're so obviously fake.
Yeah.
Some of their swords, the way that they bend, and I'm pretty sure maybe one of the guy's axes like collapses on itself or something ridiculous. We're back on Earth with Thor and Jane. They're in a diner. Thor gives probably one of the best lines of the film when he downs the coffee in his drink and smashes it on the ground. Another. I love it. I've tried that. It doesn't work. Get kicked out of most places. That's when they hear news about something that's landed in the desert. Everyone's trying to retrieve something, but it's an immovable object. Thor immediately knows that it's Mjolnir. So he decides to go and try and get it back. This is where I was thinking, why doesn't he just call for his hammer? Because he can just put out his arm and his hammer will come back to him.
And he was already banished by the point where Odin said to the hammer, you have to be worthy. So he didn't know what spell he's done.
Exactly.
Yeah, he just knows that he's taken his power.
But he doesn't even try.
Maybe he can just feel it. Maybe he can just feel that it's not come to him.
Yeah.
Feel he hasn't got the power.
But then, again, he would kind of know that when he got there, he wouldn't be able to lift it anyway.
Yeah.
If he can't summon it, then that means he's not going to be able to pick it up. I think. I don't know. This is one of those little plot points that I had to question.
Little plot holes. Yeah. Potential plot holes, yeah.
So he starts his journey to go and try and find the hammer. He walks into the pet store.
Ask for a horse.
Ask for a horse. Classic thing in a pet store. But that guy was really happy about that. We don't have horses. We have cats and dogs. Give me your largest one to ride.
Oh, I wonder if there's a deleted scene somewhere where it actually tries to ride a dog or something.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah.
I've never actually looked for deleted scenes from most Marvel movies, to be fair. Jane decides to give him a lift instead. Again, I think it's just because he's pretty good looking.
Yeah. Let's not sugarcoat it. He's a very good looking man. He's fit. Let's just say it.
He's
All
a
right.
7 out of 10, I'll give him that. Though I do question how, and I'm presuming it's makeup, because this is, right, Chris Hemsworth, the Australian, the famed surfer. Why is he so pale?
It's a fair point.
He's really pale in these films.
Yeah.
It's a lot of makeup on, I'm guessing, that's done that, or maybe he just needs some vitamin D. Maybe. So off they go to try and retrieve the hammer. It's currently being surrounded by a shield operation. Thor decides to break in and we get our first little snapshot at another sort of Easter egg, little minor character we see up in the crane. Who do we see?
We see Hawkeye.
Nice.
Not so minor as the movies progress.
No.
But at this point, I didn't know who he was when I first watched
That's one that I did know.
Did ya?
Again, not from his costume or anything, but just with the bow. There's not many in that kind of universe with the bow, and I knew that he was going to be part of the Avengers, and I could see us kind of coming together at that point.
Knowing who Hawkeye is now and how good he is, Coulson pulled him back from not attacking Thor, from not stopping Thor. He could have easily taken out Thor in a second, or wrapped his legs up with one of his many arrows or something. I don't know why they didn't use him for that. He didn't have to just stick an arrow through his chest.
No.
You know what I mean?
But I think I thought about this as well, because I was going to ask, why were all these guys just trying to fight Thor instead of shooting him down?
Yeah.
But I think it's because
it's a secret government underground thing where no one should be in. I think you pop him in the face if someone's in there.
Coulson had that kind of feeling where he wanted to see where it was going, see what would happen. This is he probably believes this is something off-world, so he wants to find out what's going on here. Mm-hmm. But it could be really dangerous. So for them to not take him down, it did seem a bit strange. Interrogate him first rather than let him have a go at it. Because if he picks it up, then they could be in danger,
Yeah.
So it's a good point.
I guess at this point as well, they know about the Incredible Hulk and him as a human, his blood, it's contaminated. Maybe who knows what an alien gunshot wound. Yeah, exactly. What they've got in their blood.
It is actually, it's a risky play at the time, isn't it?
It's a risky area.
But he goes through all these tunnels, fighting one guy after another.
Starts mud wrestling with one of them.
Yeah, that was
the big guy. There was one big guy at the end. Yeah,
I love that line as well. You're big, Thor bigger.
Thor bigger.
Love that bit. Start mud wrestling. I don't know who that was to appease. That was a bit strange.
Yeah,
takes him down.
He does do this one double jump kick on him. I thought it was really cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Straight both feet in his chest and gone.
You'd never see him doing that. I can't imagine Thor doing that in a normal battle though.
He wouldn't have to.
He wouldn't have to, I suppose. Yeah, you're right.
He got the hammer.
Tries to pick up Mjolnir, but he cannot because he is not worthy.
Does a massive, powerful scream.
Yep.
Looks like defeated. Yep. He's done. That's rock bottom for him.
He falls to his knees and he's just dejected. Yeah. He's given up.
Doesn't care. But again, he probably needed to hit rock bottom. This is when he starts becoming good, I guess, growing as a person.
Yeah.
Realizing he's not worthy
And then he's arrested by S.H.I.E.L.D., taken in quite easily after what he's done. And seems to be pretty docile. He's just sitting in his little cell. Doesn't seem to be caring anymore about anything. And then he gets a little visit from Loki.
Loki comes, tells him his dad's died.
It's so harsh, considering his dad's not dead. Mm-hmm. My question is, why is Loki wearing what he's wearing?
Suit.
Why is he wearing a suit?
I got a better question for you. When Thor first landed, why is he wearing human clothes? Like normal clothes? Or was the magic that good that that Odin put human clothes on him when he took
a pair of jeans?
He's wearing a pair of jeans and a t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
At least Loki's adapting because he's coming to Earth. He's adapted a bit. You know what I mean? To what the Earth is, he could have researched that. Just Thor's in a pair of jeans.
Yeah, how strange.
Never
noticed that. But
it's a nice suit.
It is a nice suit. It suits Tom Hiddleston quite well.
Yeah.
But my point is that we see a scene from outside the room and we know that no one can see Loki.
So why is he in a suit?
Yeah. Why isn't he wearing his normal clothes? His normal Asgardian clothes. Right?
He could just be invisible the whole time.
Exactly.
Even in a few minutes after when he tries to lift the hammer, he can do that invisibly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Anyway. I thought you'd have an answer for me, but you don't.
I don't have all the answers.
That's fine.
I didn't write these movies.
So yes, he does tell Thor that his dad's dead and that he can't go against his final wish, which was Thor's banishment.
I think worse as well. He says his mum doesn't want him home. Mm-hmm. I think, the mother's love and all that was probably hurt worse than dad dying.
Breaks his heart and he agrees and he's like, I'm so sorry, brother, and
you go and rule and
you'll do a good job.
Still nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is a bit of a turning point. Then we see Jane and Dr. Selvig have decided to come and help Thor break him out. They think he's telling the truth about some of his stories
and
after.
Definitely starting to believe him a little bit. Yeah.
Because Dr. Selvig's going through his old fairy tale book basically about the old Norse gods, and he's like, this guy's crazy. I read about him when I was a child.
Yeah.
But they think they think he's on something.
Possibly. They've seen a few things at this point that, they're just going with the flow, I think.
Just a quick note on that. What a strong acting family, the Skarsgårds.
Yeah. What's all their net worth put together? They've been in some big things.
I wouldn't even want to know, to be honest. So you've got Stellan Skarsgård playing Dr. Selvig in this. He's also from Good Will Hunting.
Yep.
Loads of other things. Then you've got his 3 sons, or 4 sons. One of them is Gustaf, who's in Vikings, plays Floki, for anyone that doesn't, anyone that watches that. Then you've got
Alexander, Skarsgård, Tarzan and True Blood.
Yep.
If you're a fan of that series, I was. Ever watch it?
No, not for me.
No, it wasn't for everyone.
And then probably the most recently famous.
Oh, Bill. Oh, Pennywise.
Were you surprised to find out his name's Bill?
Yeah. It just doesn't seem very Nordic, is that the right word? It doesn't go with Skarsgård.
No, totally right.
No.
Yeah, so he is Pennywise in It, and that's a big favourite of yours, isn't it?
The original It ruined my life, and the new one's no better.
We, for those listeners out there, we have a sufferer of
Chorophobia,
the fear of clowns.
There's no need for clowns in this day and age.
No, not really.
No, let's just wipe them out. It's a plague. If I had the Infinity Gauntlet, I'd just click my fingers and all clowns would be gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
We might have listeners who are clowns.
Oh, unlucky guys.
Well, you better change profession quick, because if the Infinity Gauntlet comes to Charlie...
You better listen to a different podcast. I'm not giving up on this.
Can I just remind you that we're just starting out. We don't want to alienate any listeners just yet.
It's not going to be a big selection of our listeners, is it?
No, good point. Okay, so Dr. Selvig has freed Dr. Donald Blake from prison, or as he's told him, and the SHIELD agents are checking him up there and seeing if that's true. You can tell, obviously, that these are fake details.
Fake IDs and stuff, yeah.
But he's letting them go. Mm-hmm. He's playing a strange game.
Mm-hmm. He's a spy, isn't he, Agent Coulson? He's a tricky bloke. So, yeah.
I just don't know if these are the right ways to go about it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they try to interrogate him, they've got nothing out of him, so just let him go. Off they go to a bar, and again, one of my favourite scenes when they're having they have the beer, and then they start downing them, and they start challenging each other.
Yeah, it's probably a man thing, isn't it?
It's great.
Yeah, sizing each other up still, yeah.
I love it. And then he gets back to Jane.
Little tin trailer in the desert, it must be hot. Dr.
Selvig is passed out. He's had a little too much to drink, so Thor is completely fine, obviously after drinking all those Asgardian ales. And they're having a little chat on the roof of the truck, and he's telling her all about all the different realms, Midgard, Jotunheim, Asgard.
Romantic scene, basically. You could see that's what they connect to.
I don't think they've had enough time together for her to fall as deeply in love as she seems to be.
Yes, but
or for him.
Look at him. That's the point.
Oh yeah, his looks.
Point, good looking people.
Right, okay. We'll allow it.
Can I just say, Thor and that, I don't care about Jane whatsoever. I don't care about her character.
Yeah, I did make a note on that one.
Yeah, it's just all this explaining about the realms and stuff, and who cares?
Yeah.
She doesn't contribute anything. She's just there. She's a bystander. She's a bit of a love interest, and then that's it.
And given the way Thor acted at the beginning of the film, so big-headed, it doesn't seem like he'd have any care for anything like this.
No.
Right? This is just for a loss of better words, it's just a basic earthling to him.
Essentially, yeah. Don't get me wrong, she's very pretty.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he's seen many pretty women in the 1,000 years he's been alive.
No, I see what you mean. It does feel a bit forced at times.
Mm-hmm. And I know, in upcoming movies, again, her character, there's just nothing there. There's little bit parts, and it's just, don't care about her.
Well, she actually took quite a bit of a break from the MCU.
I don't think she wanted to be in it. I think she wanted to get away from it. But so maybe that influenced the writers into the way they would go with that.
Yeah. Well, she's coming back as Lady Thor next year, or in a couple of years. You didn't know that?
I did not know that. Is that actually happening?
Yeah.
I heard rumours that it would be passed down, Thor, it would go to someone else.
Thor, Love and Thunder.
I'd rather see
Lady Thor.
There was a frog Thor at one point.
What?
Yeah, a frog got the ability to lift the hammer and became Thor for a while in the comics.
How does a frog lift a hammer?
I don't know, but I don't know if it's from a frog Earth or a frog planet where they had intelligence. But yeah, I'd rather see a film of that.
Okay, this is nothing to do with the fact that I don't want to see Jane Foster as Thor.
No.
This is something to do with the fact that I would much rather see a frog lifting the hammer.
Or just Chris Hemsworth, he is Thor.
Or bring in Liam.
Bring in Liam, yeah. They both auditioned for it.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. Liam's doing alright.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Not as good as Chris, but
no.
He's doing alright. Chris can lend him some money if he needs it.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would.
At least a tenner.
Nice little brotherly thing to do. So let's head back to Asgard. We've got a couple of scenes up there. And first one is when Loki makes a little trip over to Jotunheim to have a little discussion with
Laufey.
Why can't I remember that? I want to say Jafar.
Because it's not a real name. Jafar.
Yeah. I know Jafar's not right. Are you sure?
Laufey.
It's not Jafar.
It's definitely not Jafar.
Okay.
Stop watching Aladdin when you go to bed.
Okay.
Okay.
He lays down his plan that he wants, he's going to get the ice giants into Asgard and he's going to let Laufey kill Odin. Mm-hmm. And that's what he's wanted for all these years since he's been banished. They don't have access to the Bifrost, etc., etc.
And he can have his little crystal power thing back as well.
Get all his power back and bring power back to the ice giants. Good plan.
Solid plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the blame away from you.
Yep.
Kill Daddy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then we come back, we see Lady Sif and the Warriors 3. One of them is eating his way through apparently 4 cows, 3 pigs.
Oh mate, he can eat a lot.
8 chickens. Yeah. Having to go in for what he's eating, and he's telling him, no, I'm not, I'm pretty upset, but man's gotta eat. Mm-hmm. He eats like a pig, but we'll let him off.
Big pig, big ginger pig.
And then they come up with the idea that they need to save Thor. Thor has been their friend and their leader, I guess, for probably, 800 years maybe. Mm-hmm. So they want to go and save him, rightly so. Mm-hmm. And they go to... I
think it's more as well to do if they don't like Loki. Yeah. Don't trust him as king. Yeah. It's got to bring back Thor.
Yeah, makes sense. So then they head to Heimdall, who is the great seer of the Bifrost, and he controls that, and he can see everything.
You can see everyone.
Everyone,
I believe
right?
It's every soul is power. I can see souls. So at one point he says he can see like 1 trillion souls.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah. It's great eyesight though.
Yeah, let's see. Imagine he's wearing glasses. We'll be going pretty good with it. And he obviously doesn't like Loki either. Mm-hmm. So he lets them use the Bifrost so they can go down to Earth and try and get their friend back, which is pretty cool. But Loki finds out, and he's not very happy.
He's not happy. Well, he sees the Bifrost going off where he told Heimdall not to let anyone out. Mm-hmm. So he decides, he goes into the vault room and releases the Guardian, I believe its name is.
The
Destroyer. I believe I wrote down Guardian because I couldn't remember Destroyer and I was going to look it up and I didn't look it up, so I said Guardian.
I'm glad we got the story on tape.
Yeah, we're on Destroyer. Mm-hmm. Release Destroyer.
How cool is this thing?
Yeah.
This robot. I know CGI has gotten a lot better. I know 2011 wasn't that far ago, but you look at some films in 2011, like even the Hulk, only a couple of years before, and the CGI wasn't great. You could see a lot of things in there, but this thing looks really cool.
Yeah.
The way it moves, the laser beam from out his face, it's really strange, but it looks really cool. So yeah, he sends him down to Earth to not only kill Thor, but to destroy everything.
Mm-hmm. Just destroy the town. I think he said.
He said destroy everything.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ooh, fun.
Yeah. So as Thor and Jane are again I think they're back in the diner again, aren't they? And they get a bang on the door, and it's Lady Sif and the Warriors 3 after they've done their little walk through the town, and someone questions if there's a Renaissance fair on. What's going on? Why are all these weird people walking around? It's true. You would question it. This, I think, is where I might have seen that one of their swords was flapping around in
plastic
in the sheath. Yeah. Really strange. They find Thor. They explain what's going on. Obviously that Odin's been lying. Obviously that Loki's been lying about Odin. He's not dead. He's just asleep. Mm-hmm. And, they want him to come back.
And reclaim the throne. And be the hero. Oh, yeah. Get Loki off.
Such a nice story.
Mm-hmm. And then the Sentinel from X-Men comes. Sorry, the Destroyer comes.
It does look a lot like
it really does. I know the X-Men film when they redo the Sentinels was a few years later, I believe. But yeah, it does look a lot with the way it sort of flaps.
No, I see that now actually. I hadn't thought about that. So then obviously the fighting starts. There's not really much Thor can do because he's got no powers.
No, he's just trying to get people to safety, isn't he?
Yeah, he's trying to save everyone, doing the heroic thing, I guess. And they're all trying to fight the Destroyer. But obviously this is like an immortal kind of robot, or an undestroyable robot.
Again, it's probably a bit of magic involved as well.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Of course.
This is something that Odin would use to protect the vault.
Yeah, the most important things, the most valuable things, whatever you want to look at it, that he owns. So
there's a really cool scene when Sif jumps up on the roof and then spears him through, and you think, oh, right, she's got him down.
Yeah,
but then he does the whole head turning thing really quick, and then like shoots that that laser thing at her. That's really cool.
At Xena, warrior princess.
Yeah,
her get up looks exactly like it.
Actually. Yeah. Well, they've got to take these ideas from somewhere, I suppose. And then this brings us into Thor Dead number 4.
Is it 4? Yeah, it's 4.
It's 4. We're up to 4.
He sacrificed himself because what does he say? I think he's sort of talking to Loki. Leave these people alone. You want me. Kill me.
Yep. End it all. Just end it with me and let everyone else go.
But so at this point, does the robot just hits him, right?
It gives him a pretty fierce backhand and sends him flying.
Yeah, so if you get a backhand and you fly 30 feet, you're dead.
Yes.
Like backhands, just a normal backhand hurts enough.
Yeah.
But why didn't he laser him? Why is it a backhand? Face gone. Done. Credits.
That's Thor's, that's Loki's kind of thing, right? To play tricks. So he goes to walk away, but then he turns around and smacks him back instead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's kind of, it's his last, his way to have his last little play with him, but then to carry on killing him. But obviously, because he's done this heroic act.
Self-sacrifice, they say that's,
they
say it's a big deal.
Yeah. He's trying to save his friends, he's trying to save everyone in the town. Which, by the way, the name of the town in English means Old Bridge.
Old Bridge.
Which is like a connection between the Bifrost.
Okay.
Nice
nice
tidbit there for you.
Right.
So this makes Thor worthy again of holding the hammer.
Hammer flies out of the ground, soars towards him at a very great pace.
Yep.
Nearly hits one of them, I'm sure.
Yep.
Because they're all crowded round him in a big circle.
And
it'd be hilarious. Jane just got taken out through about 400 foot. And then he grabs the hammer. Wait! Oh no.
Well, I don't need you anymore. I'm Thor again.
Yeah.
The weird thing there though is that, so the hammer flies straight up into the air. And then soars, I don't know, a couple of 100 miles to land in Thor's hand. But you would think, because this can go through everything,
most direct route,
it would take the most direct route, right? It would just fly in a straight line to his hand.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It goes up in a big arc. It looks really cool. It's a great shot of the film. But thinking back, I'm like, you're wasting time here, mate.
Maybe it wasn't him calling it. Maybe because it felt that it discovered, so the hammer sensed he was worthy again. It shot up. Maybe. We'll email the director. So he's worthy again. He's got the hammer back and goes to fight the Destroyer. Takes him out with a big tornado.
That was cool.
It was a cool scene.
That's the thing, right? Because throughout this whole film, we don't actually see a lot of Thor.
I mean, Thor, Cape, Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The transformation when he gets it, that was so cool.
It was cool.
When he gets it and his hair goes back and he gets his suit and he gets all his armor. That was cool. I really liked that.
Looking back though now at the armor, I'm not a big fan of it because of his later armors that I know that's come in.
Yeah.
That still looks a little bit cheesy to me.
But no, I was happy with
the the plates of armor going onto his arms slowly.
Yeah.
And he's back and he's proper airbrushed. And,
He got tan again.
Yeah, tanned.
No, that was good. I really like that.
So he's killed the Destroyer, flies off, has a quick chat with Coulson, and then takes Jane and flies off with her, takes her to the Bifrost site. I don't get the Bifrost site bit, because the Bifrost, there is a connection and that is the Bifrost site, but in later films it can go anywhere. Why has he got to go to that site to get back up in it?
I think it's one of those things that they didn't
plan ahead on yet.
I do know that there is supposed to be a connection point
on
all these places. And I think in like old Norse mythology, to connect through like the world tree or whatever it was, each world would be a different branch in the tree. Then they'd have to go through certain temples. So there was specific points that would have it. But there is also the more powerful Heimdall who can put it anywhere, basically.
Yeah.
So
I guess you've got writers. They've got to write and change things all the time. They can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you get new writers as well, they can't stick to the potential mistakes of old writers. They need to improve the story. They might have to change things.
But this is a throwback to how strong the female characters are in the MCU so far. The fact that they can fly at G-force with no damage at all.
It's more of the takeoff where it's instant.
Yeah.
Where he spins a hammer and bang.
Yeah.
Like 400 mile per hour or whatever.
And none of them even think about, none of them throw up.
No.
None of them show any signs of damage to that. So,
no.
Touche, well done to them.
I know.
Happy with that.
So just before they get back on the Bifrost, Jane and Thor have their first kiss. Very aggressive.
That's a great word to describe that kiss.
Very aggressive, bit weird.
I think she'd been hankering for that for a while.
Yeah.
So off they go in the Bifrost, back to Asgard.
Mummy's fighting a frost giant and takes one out just before Loki saves his dad, saves Odin, kills the main frost giant, doesn't he? Is that the main? Is it Laufey?
It is Laufey, yeah.
Kills the main frost giant, saves Odin, thinks, oh yes, I've saved the day, I'm proper king now.
Gives away his actual plan the whole time was to lure him here so that everyone would think that he was now worthy because he'd killed
their biggest enemy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
then he's going to, the rest of his plan is that he's going to use the Bifrost to completely destroy the whole of Jotunheim. Mm-hmm. So dark.
Yeah.
So dark.
People. They're frost giants. They've got cold hearts. They can't do anything.
No, I know, but they work really hard in this and in future films with Loki to make him into this likeable, devilish character.
Yeah.
Where, he's funny, he's a bit strange, but you like him. Mm-hmm. Tom Hiddleston plays him well, but just thinking back, he was going to eradicate a whole race.
Yeah.
Of which he belongs to, at least half of him anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of things you read about Loki, like, he's so smart, he's so intelligent, and like the plan he had to attack Earth and Avengers, apparently he potentially planned to fail that, because he did end up on the throne a few years later. So this could all still be part of his plan. He could have planned to fail to get permanently on the throne a few years from now. He's that intelligent. His plan could be that long, that far in the future, where he couldn't devise one for it to happen instantly.
That's a good point. Mm-hmm. He is a very clever character. Thor shows up just in time to confront Loki about what he's been doing. Obviously, he abandoned him on Earth. He told him that his dad was dead when he wasn't. Thor is not a happy bunny. Then this is when Loki goes to try and finish his plan of destroying Jotunheim with the Bifrost. Thor gets there just in time to stop it from finishing the job. And it's when they have their big fight scene on the bridge.
Mm-hmm. Thor doesn't want to fight him. He's not putting his fists up. He's not, throwing a hammer at him.
Until he mentions the girl that he met 2 days ago.
Yeah, and had one little kiss with.
Yeah.
And then boom. You're done, mate.
It was a good kiss.
Yeah. It was an aggressive kiss.
Yeah. A great fight scene, Loki using all of his tricks and disappearing, reappearing, the hammer going back and forth, and when the way it ends with him putting the hammer on Loki's chest so that he can't get up. Mm-hmm. I love that bit.
Yeah.
Because you see so many things in pop culture where you might like a cartoon of Thor living with the Avengers and he's put the hammer on the toilet seats and no one can lift it up.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. I just love it. I think, so that was a great way to end it, but he had to stop the Bifrost from destroying Jotunheim, and the only way to do that was to destroy the bridge. Mm-hmm. But obviously, as Loki points out, if he destroys the bridge, he'll never see Jane Foster again.
It's a very poor point, in my opinion, because so he knows about all the 7 realms, so all the planets, all the worlds. In them worlds, there are spaceships. There are spaceships capable of travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he can fly these spaceships you see in later films. So I don't see the Bifrost. It's not the only way to get there.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, it's a very common thing. Spaceships at that point. So
for an advanced culture, they're not that advanced.
No,
as you said with the horses, like they're not that far ahead.
No,
they didn't stretch out any more than that, did they? Yeah, it's a good point. I never thought about that actually.
You'll never see her again. Well, I'll just call an Uber spaceship. Yeah. Right? there must be a service, taxi service. Absolutely. What would you call that taxi service?
Grootber.
That was awful. Do you want to come up with another one?
No, I'm sticking with it.
Okay.
You gave me 1 second to think of an answer and I'm sticking with it.
Grootber.
So the bridge is destroyed.
This is when Odin wakes up.
As he's smashing the bridge. That was a really good scene as well, actually. As he opens his eyes for that, as the bridge is getting destroyed.
Yeah.
But he knows that Thor's doing technically the right thing to not destroy a whole race just because he's a bit upset.
Yeah.
And they both fall off the bridge. They're almost going to fall into the abyss, but Odin saves them. And this is when Loki pleads to him to try and say, kind of like, are you proud of me now?
Are you proud of me now, Daddy?
Do you love me now, Daddy?
Do you love me now, Daddy? I did it for you. No, did it for you, did he say?
I think so.
And then he was like, no, you did it for yourself. Or
I think Odin just says no.
No, Loki.
No, Loki.
Yeah.
He's so deep.
Yeah.
I can see why Loki's done it all, actually. I'd do the same thing.
Yeah.
And he's had 1,500 years of this.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. And then Loki just lets go, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
Into the abyss. He's such a child.
Into space.
Yeah. We assume that that's the last we'll see of Loki, but obviously as this is a review podcast, we know that this is an old movie, and that's not true. Loki does return. So that pretty much brings us to the end of the film. Odin is going to stay on as the king of Asgard. He's not going to pass the reins over to Thor just yet. Thor himself admits that he's not ready. He still has a lot to learn, kind of passing on the crown, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the time being, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you think he's doing it so he can go and see Jane?
Absolutely, yeah. Just a chance, yeah. You can't just go off-world if you're king and see a girl for an hour or 3 minutes. So we have the credits, and at the end of the credits, the line comes up on the screen, Thor will return in the Avengers. If I'm correct, I think this is the first I heard of the Avengers happening. I knew it was sort of building up because of the end scenes. But
what do you mean? Do you think this is the first that you've heard of?
Well, so we saw at the end of a couple of the films, Incredible Hulk, that we're putting together a team.
Yeah.
Which we knew was the Avengers. But this was the first sort of thing, right? The Avengers is gonna happen. Like, it's near. Like, we're gonna have this team up. This was, I think that was the most exciting bit of the film to me.
Really?
Yeah, I know the Avengers is coming. I know a big team up's coming.
Oh yeah, I know. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
No, I do vaguely remember thinking the same kind of thing. Mm-hmm. As soon as it was actually finally down, it's coming, it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Then we've got the after credit scene with Dr. Selvig going to meet Nick Fury.
Mm-hmm.
And we think all is okay, but actually Loki, at this point, is he like taking him over? Or is he in his mind? Is he doing something? Or is that Loki in disguise?
I think he's just invisible.
Yeah.
I think Loki's just invisible, but yeah, and he's just suggested for Dr. Selvig to say something.
So then they're looking at the Tesseract.
Yeah. I think that's a little whisper in his ear, and he thought it was a Thor sort of thing, but I think he was there just invisible. He's
doing something with Dr. Selvig, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting. And then that's it. That's end of Thor. Overall, I did enjoy it.
I know we unfortunately I think I've said this on the podcast before, we tend to focus on the negatives of things just as humans.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a good movie. And there's not many faults. Again, there's little inaccuracies from further films, but yeah, you know what? There was a few bits of comedy in there, which I really laughed. There was bits where I actually laughed out loud. I know when Deadpool came, again, I think I've mentioned this before, it changed a lot of films and they got a lot more comedy in, but this feels like it was aiming for quite a bit of comedy, where Incredible Hulk, there was none,
much darker tone.
Yeah, Iron Man he's a funny character, so that's what he was, but yeah, Thor was always more serious, if I remember. But yeah, I can't fault this movie much. Yeah. It's for the way I enjoyed it.
So we need to give our ratings. Do you want to go first?
Well, so, I like the film, know where it's going. He only could have died 4 times. I think in previous films, other people should have died like 20.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I'm gonna go for a 6 out of 10. Saying that, I enjoyed the film. There's nothing too great about it. I'm not gonna watch it again within the next year or 2. I don't need to watch it again. It won't excite me. But, it is a good film. And I know what's coming up, and I know that deserves more than a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think I want to slot this in the correct place where it should be when I review other films of this sort of genre. So I think 6.5.
I completely agree. I think that's a perfect score for this one. It's not to say that it's that close to the line of being average, but 6 is fair.
Yeah.
I think for everything that you just mentioned, for everything that's involved. Do you know what? Right as we do this, I'm going to change it to a 7. Because I'm thinking back on other things. I'm thinking on the scenery, they're bringing in new worlds. everything they've done, actually, I'm going to change. I'm going to change. It's going to be a 7 for me.
I'll stick at 6.5.
I think I've just got a more positive outlook on these films than you do, maybe. You're just a bit of a Grinch.
Oh, thanks.
Right, so we go into our listeners' questions and comments. So far we've got a couple of questions in this week. So one question comes in from a friend of the pod, from Jeremy, who asks, no thunder, no hammer, who would win in a fight, me or Thor? This is a little bit lighthearted for listeners out there. Jeremy's been to the gym once, twice in life. He likes to think he's a bit of a big guy. He likes to think he can take on Thor. But I'm going to break this answer down into 2 parts. Mm-hmm. Could he take on Thor with no thunder, no hammer? He hasn't said that Thor hasn't got his powers, so Thor would obliterate him.
Would literally throw him into the sun.
Yeah, he'd absolutely smash him. And the second answer to that would be that, would he be able to take on Chris Hemsworth? No, because Chris Hemsworth is 6'7" and he's a massive guy.
Yeah.
So sorry, Jeremy. Thank you for getting in touch, but no, you would be absolutely destroyed by Thor and or Chris Hemsworth, with or without their powers. Next question comes from James. I've seen this one. I think it's going to be better if we just do it quick fire. So I haven't got any time to prepare an answer.
Okay.
If Chris Hemsworth wasn't available, who would be the next best Thor?
Oh, Matthew McConaughey. You said a quick answer.
All right. I'm Thor. Hey, Odin. Hey, Poppy.
Oh,
wow.
God. Liam Gallagher. I don't know. No. Oh. So another Skarsgård. Throw Alexander in.
Really?
He's tall.
Too skinny.
He's tall. He's blonde. No, he's quite built.
He's got bigger.
He's quite, but he could have got bigger for the role.
Okay.
For looks wise, maybe not for acting chops, but yeah.
If that's what you're going for. I mean, but to be perfectly honest, I think, in this one, Chris Hemsworth wasn't a massive actor by any means at the time. Mm-hmm. His acting's not great.
No, it's not.
And his accent's a little bit iffy.
Would you have rather seen it out there? Still figuring out the character.
Yeah. Would you have rather seen an English actor doing it if he's going to be doing an English accent? Danny Dyer, maybe.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. Just let Danny Dyer go. Just no change. Just Danny Dyer as Thor.
I really wish I could do my real Danny Dyer impersonation, but this is a family-friendly podcast, so we can't go there.
You can't do an impersonation of Danny Dyer without swearing, can you?
No, I can't think of one.
No.
That it wouldn't sound the same.
Right, we'll leave it at that, don't.
Alright, you mug. I'm Thor. I'm 4.
4.
Yeah, 4, cut out of TH, I'm 4. Alright? Where's me hammer? Where's Mjolnir?
Have you lost your helmet?
I can fly, I can. Is that alright? Okay, and then you had one question as well.
So yes, we have one more question from another one of our listeners for both of us. Wayne, you're currently reviewing the MCU movies, but are one of the MCU movies one of your favourite films? Like, is one of them your favourite film of all time, or have you got something a bit further back?
Interesting question. There's a lot of great films in the MCU. Obviously, we love those films. Mm-hmm. So that's why we start with this as the thing. I think any of the Avengers, Age of Ultron gets a lot of stick. I wouldn't say it's my favourite, but I do really like that. When Guardians of the Galaxy came out, that was really good. That's high up there. But no, not my all-time favourites. I've always said that my all-time favourite film was actually The Last Samurai.
The Last Samurai.
Believe it or not.
You've never told me that.
Really?
We've known each other for years. We're best friends. You've never told me that.
Well, there you go. We'll learn
that is interesting. I'm going to have to rewatch it now.
I love that film.
I watched it once, I think, on Channel 5 late at night and was not paying attention.
Oh, man, that hurts so much. That's such a good film. And I can't believe it's such a good film. And I can't believe I love it so much.
Tom Cruise, Tom Cruise film is your favourite film. Doesn't sound right, but okay.
It is what it is. Everyone's got that one.
I'll give it a chance.
What about you?
So again, like, with like Infinity War and all your Avengers movies are great, and they're definitely on my list now, on my top 10 or top 20. But when I think favourite film, you've got to go back to what you watched as a child, what you watched every night over and over. And mine's a toss-up. It's Pulp Fiction by Quentin Tarantino. Like, I don't think you can get, like, for me, that is like a perfect film in many ways, just with the cast and the acting and there's even like, even slight mystery about it with the case, and Samuel Jackson's amazing. And, so you've got that and proper sort of man one, Die Hard. You gotta love Die Hard.
Oh yeah, I should have thought you'd say Die Hard actually.
I love Die Hard. Like, that's what I gotta say. If you know Die Hard, you love Die Hard.
We want people to get in touch to answer the age-old question, is Die Hard a Christmas film? Spoiler alert, yes.
Absolutely.
100%.
When did you watch it? Every Christmas.
Every Christmas.
Yes. And every Friday. No, that's me.
Okay, guys, that's the end of the pod. You can get in touch with any questions, any comments, any feedback. We're on all social media platforms at The Franchise Rundown, at The Franchise RD on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram for posts about what's coming up next. And we actually now need suggestions for our next franchise. Mm-hmm. We're not going to decide this. We're going to let listeners decide this. Once we get a few suggestions out there, maybe I'll put up some polls and people can vote and see which ones they want to go for. Or if we get a lot of people going directly for one, that's just what we'll go for. But we need suggestions. We're not just reviewing Marvel films here.
No.
Yeah, all franchises.
We're doing phase 1 of Marvel, and then we're moving on to whatever you guys suggest us to move on.
Eventually we will come back to Marvel, but for our next one, we want something different and we want you guys to pick something for us.
Cool. You've got some time. We've still got 2 more movies of phase 1 to review, which is Captain America.
That's up next.
And then obviously the Avengers.
I can't wait.
Yes, me neither.
I cannot wait for that one.
Me neither.
Just to watch it again.
Yeah.
That's great.
That podcast will be 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
So
be prepared. Yeah.
Yeah. Get in touch.
Like, subscribe.
Yes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us those 5-star ratings. It really helps the podcast grow, gets us out there, gets us more listeners, more of you lovely people. And thank you very much.
Tell your friends and family, people. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right, that's the end. I've been Charlie.
And I've been Charlie.
No, you've not.
Good night.
Good night.